Inside your wrist lies one of humanity's most elegant engineering achievements, a machine that measures time using nothing but coiled metal, tiny gears, and centuries of craft. No battery required, no electronics at all. Welcome to the world of mechanical watchmaking. A mechanical watch is a completely self-contained mechanical computer. It converts stored potential energy into a perfectly regulated oscillation, and that oscillation drives the hands around the dial. Every tick you hear is a tiny, controlled release of that stored energy, happening 5 to 10 times every single second. The mechanical watch traces its roots to 15th century Europe, when German clockmaker Peter Henlein first created a portable spring-driven timepiece. Over the following 5 centuries, watchmakers refined the design to extraordinary precision. Modern mechanical watches can keep time to within a few seconds per day with no external power source whatsoever. Everything begins with the mainspring, a long, thin strip of hardened steel coiled tightly inside a cylindrical drum called the barrel. When you wind the crown, you tighten that coil. As it slowly unwinds over the next 36 to 72 hours, it releases energy in a controlled stream that flows through the entire movement. The raw energy from the mainspring is far too fast and forceful to move watch hands directly. The gear train is a cascade of interlocking wheels and pinions. Each pair steps down the rotation speed while passing energy forward. By the time power reaches the escapement, one full rotation of the center wheel takes exactly 1 hour, driving the minute hand. Every mechanical watch, no matter how simple or complex, is built around 5 core subsystems. The power source stores energy. The gear train transmits it. The escapement controls its release. The balance wheel regulates the rhythm. And the dial train translates all of that motion into the hands you actually read. Each part depends on every other. The escapement is arguably the most important invention in the history of timekeeping. It works like a controlled brake. A pallet fork rocks back and forth, allowing the escape wheel to advance exactly 1 tooth at a time. That click you hear in a mechanical watch? That's the escapement doing its job, releasing a measured pulse of energy, roughly 6 to 10 times per second. Not all escapements are the same. The Swiss lever escapement is the industry standard. It's robust, shock-resistant, and works reliably in everyday conditions. The detent escapement, found in marine chronometers, is even more accurate but extremely fragile. Watchmakers choose the right escapement based on the watch's intended purpose and environment. The balance wheel is the watch's metronome. It swings back and forth at a fixed frequency, typically between 18,000 and 36,000 beats per hour, governed by a delicate coiled spring called the hairspring. The hairspring's elasticity always returns the balance wheel to center, creating a perfectly repeating oscillation that the escapement counts off like a clock's pendulum. Those jewels you see listed on a watch, 17 jewels, 21 jewels, aren't decorative. They're synthetic rubies and sapphires used as ultra-hard, nearly frictionless bearing surfaces for the moving pivots. Metal grinding on metal would wear out quickly, but a steel pivot spinning in a polished ruby bearing can run for decades with minimal wear, as long as it's properly lubricated. After all that energy conversion and regulation, the final step is surprisingly simple. A set of gears called the motion works reduces the 1 rotation per hour center wheel down to 1 rotation per 12 hours for the hour hand. The result is the clean, continuous sweep of hands on a dial, the only part of this incredibly complex system most people ever see. A COSC-certified chronometer mechanical movement must perform within -4 to +6 seconds per day across 5 positions and 2 temperatures. The finest movements today beat that by a factor of 10. Some components in a high-grade movement are machined to tolerances of just a few microns, thinner than a human hair. That level of precision, achieved entirely without electronics, is extraordinary. Abraham Louis Breguet, perhaps history's greatest watchmaker, once wrote that a fine timepiece should not merely measure time, it should make the invisible visible. There's something profound about wearing a machine that converts physics into poetry, where the laws of energy and oscillation manifest as the quiet sweep of a hand around a dial. Behind every mechanical watch is a watchmaker who assembled its hundreds of components by hand, often under a loupe at 10x magnification. The bridges are chamfered and polished. The gears are decorated with circular graining. The movement is regulated by micro-adjusting the hairspring's effective length. Mechanical watchmaking is engineering elevated to an art form. In an age where your phone tells the time to the millisecond, the mechanical watch shouldn't exist, yet it thrives. It endures because it represents something timeless, the marriage of human ingenuity, physical craftsmanship, and the pure science of motion. Every time you wind your watch, you're participating in a tradition half a millennium old, and that, more than any quartz crystal, is worth keeping.